You played as Lucas 366 on server Fearless last time. To start the game, please hold enter. Says you have unread mail. Says you have unread mail. Welcome to Doc says Doc's S party Bella taxi. Noise, Rogue, Arila says Arila's party Bella Needbow. Mahoney, Hayderaz says Hayderaz party Bella DPS orb. Roguejen says NA, Libidan says Libidan's party Bella Bows and Amp, Tank 4/6. Noise, Roguejen says Rogue, NAWF says NAWF's party Bella Healer. Arila says Arila's, Rogue, Doc says Noise 3, Libid, Roguejen says Roguejen's party, NAWF, Doc says Doc, Mahoney says Mahoney's party Bella Tank Heal. Thelly says Thel, NAWF says NAWF's, Arila says Arila's, Roguejen says Roguejen, Noise 3, Blacklight says NAWF says, Mahoney says Mahoney's party Bella Tank Heal.
Wait.
NAWF says NA, Libidan says Libidan's party Bella Bows and Arilas, Roguejen says Roguejen's party Bella Bow / Mahoney says Mahoney's party Bella Tank Heal. NAWF says Blacklight says Rory England says White, Roguejen says Roguejen's party, Doc says Doc's, Mahoney says Mahoney's party Bella Tank Heal. Blacklight says Arila says Arila's party Bella Needbow. Kazwaya says Kazwaya, Mahoney says Mahoney's party Bella Tank Heal. NAWF, Kazwaya says Kazwaya S party Bella.
Some chests may have fishing bait.
Roguejen says Roguejen's party Bella Bow / Abyss GS / Heal. Doc says Doc's S party, Mahoney says Mahoney's party, Libidan says Libidan's party Bella Bows and Amp, Tank 4/6. Roguejen says Rogue, Dave. Doc says Doc's S party Bella Taxi, Mahoney says, Arila says Arila's party Bella Needbow. Doc says Doc, Libidan says Libidan's party Bella Bows and Amp, Mahoney, Roguejen says Roguejen's party, Doc says Doc's S party Bella Taxi, Bow Brothers. Rory, Blacklights, NAW, Libidan says Libidan's part, Roguejen says Roguejen's party Bella Bow / Doc says Doc's S party Bella, Doc says, Mahoney says Mahoney's party Bella Tank Heal. Blacklight says Blacklight's party Queen Bow. Roguejen says Roguejen's party Bella Bow, Libidan says Libidan's party Bella Bows, NAWF says NAWF's part, Mahoney, Doc says Doc's, Roguejen says Roguejen's party Bella Bow / Abyss GS / Heal. Mahoney says Mahoney's party, Libidan says Libidan's party Bella Tank Abyss G, Hayder, Doc says Doc's S, Rory England says, Rogue, Blacklight says Blacklight's part, Doc says Doc's S part, Rogue, Gladiatrix says Gladiatrix's, Roguejen says Roguejen's, NAWF says, Doc says Doc's S party, Ruxiang says Ruxiang's party, Roguejen says Doc says, Blacklights, Roguejen says Roguejen's party Bella Bow, Ruxiang says Ruxiang's party Bella Bow. The NAWF says Blacklight says Mahoney says Doc, Libid, Hayderaz says Hayder, Doc says Onadaji, the kids, Ruxiang says Blacklight says Blacklight's part, Roguejen says Roguejen's part, the kid, Doc says, Mahoney, Libidan says Libidan's party Bella Don Maniac says Don Maniac's, Onadaji says, NAWF, Gladia, Blacklight says Blacklight's party Queen Bow, Don Maniac says Don Maniac's party Bella Tank. Ori IA, Libidan says Libidan's party, Don Maniac says Don Maniac's party Bella Tank. Arila says Docs, Black, Mahoney says Mahoney's part, Arila says Arila's party, NAW, Don Maniac said, the kid says Luayua. Libidan says, Doc says Doc's S party, Onadaji, Roguejen says Roguejen's, Doc says, Onadaji says Onadaji's, Roguejen says Roguejen's part, Ariela says, it's, Libidan says Libidan's party, Doc said, NAW, Mahoney, Doc said, Ori I, Dunmania, I Blacklight says I Blacklight's, Ariela says Ariela, Onadaji, Roguejen says Roguejen, Doc says Doc's S party, Ariela says Ariela's party Bella Needba. Dunmania, Ariela, the kid said, Libidan NAWF, Doc says, Mahoney, it, Ariela says, it's MRQ says, it, Libidan says I Blacklight says I, it's Doc says Doc's S, Roguejen says Roguejen's, Libidan, Mahoney says Mahoney's party, NAW, Doc says, Doc, I Blacklights, Dunmania, Matt Doctor 95 says Matt, Docs, Mahoney says Bella Tank, Roguejen says Rogue, Roguejen says Roguejen's, it's MRQ says, on, Dunmay, it's Libet, Docs says, Rogue, Onadaji says Onadaji's party, Docs, Dunmaniac says Dunmaniac, Roguejen says, Libidan says Gladiatrix says, Doc says, Mahoney, Griori says Griori S, Madoc, it's MRQ, it's MRQ, Rogue, Black, Dunmaniac, Docs, Rogue, Onadaji says Onadaji's party Bella DPS, the kid, Mad Doctor 9, NAW, Gladiatrix says Gladiatrix's party Bella, Roguejen says Roguejen's part, Dunmaniac says Roguejen says Doc says Doc, NAWF says NAWF's part, Mad Docs, biggest 2 cut, Mahoney says, Roguejen says Mad Dunmaniac, Mad Doctor 95 says Mad Doctor 95, Doc, Kojimai says Kojimai's party Bella, biggest 2, Gladiatrix says, Docs, Mad Mad Doctor 95, Mad Doctor 9, NAWF says. Donmain, Fia RZ, it's MR, DG, it's MR, it's M. Rob, Mahoney, GR, D, Ixit, DG, set, DG, I Blacklight says, Ixitida says Ixitida's party, Ixitida, it's, what, so, Ixitida said, it's MR, it's M, what fact, it's, on it, what facts, it's MR, what fact, it's, what, Green, what fact says what, it's M, Schmote, Mahoney says, what, it's MRQ, it's MRQs, so, what facts, it's MR, what, Donmain, what fact, it, GR, what, I Black, it, so, what, it, what facts, it, Neofume, I am, what fact, so, what fact, G, D Gene, D, it's MR, GR, it's GR4, done, GR, GR, DG, D Gene, DG, it, I Black, D, GR4, G, Donmain, G, it's MR, I am, it's MR, I Black, it, so Queen 5s, it's MRQ says it's a Mercs party Bella, it, Mahoney, it's, GR, D Gene, D Gene, so, D Gene War, so, D Gene, D, so, G, so, Rap, Mah, so, D Gene, I, Raffley, G, so, Raffley, GR, Raffley, it's, so, Raffley, Mah, D Gene, Santail says, D Gene War, Onida, D, GR, Donmain, D, I am fabulous, D, so, Onida G, so, I, so Queen 5, Mah, GR4, so Queen, Rabbit, it's MRQ, it's, I Black, it's MRQ, G, it's MRQ says it, so Queen 5s, it's, I Black, so, GR, Joyce, so, Jekha, Kayat says Kayat, so, G, I, Rap, so Queen, Mahoney, Don Maniac says Don Maniac's party Bella, GR4, Onida G, what fact says what facts party Bella, what, D Gene, GR, I, as a, D Gene War, so, what facts, so, what fact, so, what fact said, what facts, so, what, Sant, D, Oake, I Black, O, Carry, Oake, says Bellander, Oake says party 1, Kraus, Raffley says Raffley's part, what fact, Schmote, Mahone, what fact, so Queen, Izame, what fact, so Queen, Onida G, D, Raffley, D Gene, Rap, G, Onida, D Gene War, D, Kraus Otter said, Raffley, D Gene War, Azasil, Ravager, GR, D Gene Warlord, D, GR4 N4 T4, Mahoney says Mahoney's party Bella, I am fabulous, Ravager, of Abibluxburgs, Jekhawklek, GR, so Queen, D, so D Gene, Onida G, Mahoney's, I Black, so Queen 5 says so, Onida G says Onida, GR4 N4, Kraus, Ravager of says, Elon Die Crane says, Elon, GR, Elon, Mahoney says Mahoney's party Bella no orb, on Jack, Kraus Otter says Kraus, D, GR4 N4 T4 says GR4 N4, D Gene, Jutsu says, D Gene Warlords, 02, D, Kraus Otter, Priori says, GR4 N4 T4 says GR4 N, Hadera said, I am fabulous says I. Says Bibluxburg said, Kraus D Gene, Jeckhawk, D Gene War, Felly said, on Hercule, D Gene War, D Gene, Onida G says Onida G, Carry AT, Mahoney's, 02X says 02X, Hadera says Hadera's party, Kraus Otter said, Onida G says Onida G's party Bella DPSSW, Onida G, Izame, 02X says, Onida G says Onida G's, Carry ATI, Saker Face, Malizio, Onida, Shutsu says Shutsu's party Bella 5, Kraus, Onida G says Onida G's party, Hubabibluxburg says Hub, 02X, Shutsu said, Kraus, Oakea, Elon Dike, Carpemo, Elon Dike Crane, Oake, Elon Dike Crane said, Carpemoto says Carpemotos, Santail said, Mahoney says, Kraus Otter, Graze, Kaizen says plus. Grazing, Sass, 8, Oake, Malizio says, Grazing Casas, Grazing, 0, Grazing Casas Great, Santail says Santail, Great, Shmotai says, Grazing Casas Grazing, Great, Sanch, Kraus, Grazing Casas, Big, Hadera says, Elon Dike, biggest, to, Grazing Casa, D, biggest, at, biggest, Hadera, Great, Carry, biggest, Grazing Casa, biggest, Grazing Casa, Great, Hadera, biggest, Grazing Casas, Izamarin, Play 2, Hader, Carry 8, Yasmeans, Grazing Casas Party Bella, Grazing Cas, Carry 8 TIS says Carriatis, Santail says Santail, 0, Carry 8, Kraus Otter said, Grazing Cas Party Bella Peace, Carry 8 TIS says Carry, Jekhawklek, Krausotter says quality magic powder. Karyatis says, Haderas says, Oakea. Oskanovsky says Oskanovsky S part. Karyati. Oakea says Bellander Oakea. Grazinkasa. Oakea says Bellander Oak. Play to have fun says play to have funs. Grazinkasa 0. Grazin. Oakea says Bellander Oakea says party one more bow needed. Biggest, Oakea says Bellander Oakea. Joy says Joy, biggest, Oakea says Bellander play to have fun set, 02, Karyatis says Karyat, Oakea, Grazinka says Grazinka's part, Oakea says, Grazinka, biggest did to, Grazin, Oakea, Grazinka says, Grazinka, play to have fun says, Isamic, Joy says Joy S, Karyati, 02x says 0, Oakea says, Revivila says, Oakea says Bellander Oakea, Karyati, Quiddyfox, Revivila says, Quiddyfox says Quiddy, Joy says, 0, Quiddy, Grazin, Oakea says, Grazinka says, Revivila, Quiddyfox, 02, Grazinka, Quiddyfox said, Oakea says, Grazinka says, Karyati, Quiddyfox says, Joy says Joy, Quiddyfox says, Grazinka says, Grazin 02, Grazinka, at Grazinka, great vitamin 4, Quiddyfox said, Grazinka, Tribrid said, Quiddyfox, Revival, Tribrid, Quiddy, Grazinka, Quiddy, Hader, play, Oakea said, Quiddyfox said, Tribrid, great, Quiddyfox, Oakea, great, Quiddyfox, 02, Quiddy, great, Quiddyfox, Grazin, Joy, Hader, Ill, Graze, Quiddy, Oakea, Quid, great, as a quid, great, Grazing, great, Quiddy, Oakea, Quiddy, quid, Graze, hate, Grazing, great, play to have fun says play to have fun's party. Haderas says Haderas party Bella. Naziro GR3K0 says Naziro GR3K0's party Bella. Haderas says Haderas party Bella. Says killed chess station. Says the protection period for Temple of Truth of Ice, Naziro GR3K0 says Naziro GR3K0's party Bella. Milshokska says /. Says you have acquired Fisherman's Bait completion reward, S.
When fishing boats are sunk by the perilous reefs. Chunks of the bait the anglers
Says recommended
use
active
are
skill
sometimes
has been
found in the
registered.
chests that wash ashore from the wreckage. Their pungent smell is highly effective at luring in wolves.
Ice Lady says quality rubrics Thai Queen. Graza says CCBYCCCNA dobra stopi z potent jalnet says you have unread mail. Modhup says LFG Crimson Bird. Says Moonlight Guild has set Burkent Estate of Stone under guild protection. Says you have acquired Shipwreck Pincers completion
are often
reward.
found in the wrecks
S.
near Windhill Shores. Crackles are as ferocious as they look and have a pungent smell. It's said that a hunter once won the wolf hunting contest by secretly using crackle meat as bait.
Razoe says GTW Polskanai Wimagami Basia Naj Lepzim. Wimagami Jedini, Sabis Byl Bargioi Actini Nesurektalderka. Says you have entered a safe zone. Apocalyptus Pup says Du hast genug von toxisken Gruppen? ALDE seek such verstarken for semi-prog. 2N says Schreibe, Krim damit die Ludwison was du mainst.
Are you back already? That was fast. Thanks to you, the contest will go on. Why don't you ask Chris, the head of the association? He's also the Lord's younger brother. He must be preparing for the contest at the western campsite on the Black Howl Plains. Use those ingredients to make some bait, then bring it to Chris. Since you did all the work,
Says
you should be
NW
the one
Rockhill
to deliver it
controls
to him.
Temple of Truth
That way
of
he can take
Stone.
you in person. Take the exit on the second floor of the Lord's residence and head up to the Castleton Abbey. You'll find an aged herb extract jar. Steeping the ingredients in those jars makes the bait extra fragrant and effective. Chris is probably worried that the contest might not take place. On your way there, please send my letter to him via parrot mail to let him know the bait is on the way. Oh, and just so you know, there's a waypoint in the Black Howl Plains too. It will make traveling there much easier.
Says you have acquired the
ingredients,
relieved aid completion
the Lord's
reward.
aid was greatly
S.
relieved that we
2N
could
says
proceed with
Keener
the
Weiss was
contest
for
as
Purrit.
intended.
Ist.
He asked you to deliver the new bait to the Lord's
Says
brother,
recommended
Chris,
active
in
skill
Black
has
Howl
been
Plains.
registered.
He also is the head of the Wolf Hunters Association, so you'll need to talk to him to acquire a keepsake.
Micro GG says Verward Dinuan Nick XD. Karaat says Karates Vanguard raid 123. Milshokska says hashtag GTW Polska.
Oh, not a bad job at all. Now, upgrade the armor.
Micro GG says
You
if
know
any new
how,
player
right?
has questions just
like
ask.
weapons,
Smiley
armor
face.
can be upgraded too. The more you upgrade your armor, the more damage it can withstand. Here, I will give you some materials.
Gentleman says
Try
Gentleman's Party
upgrading that
B3
armor
bird.
you just crafted. That's all I can teach you for now. Keep crafting and upgrading your armor. You're off to fight Crackle today, but you will surely face more fearsome opponents next time.
Says you have
successfully
acquired
crafted
appendix
armor
play button
using
how to
Nature's
craft armor
materials.
completion reward.
You will bring more
S.
materials you find on the road to a crafter to make other types of armor.
Gentleman says Gentleman's Party B3 burn 5/6 heal. Karat says Karates Vanguard raid 123.
One day I want to craft armor that can defend against any attack.
Says the protection period for Sanctum of Desire Abai Stone has ended.
I can also use the materials you have in storage.
Says Quality Skill Growth Book X1 has been consumed in inventory. Says Quality Skill Growth Book X1 has been consumed in inventory. Says Quality Skill Growth Book X1 has been consumed in inventory.
Don't forget your cloak!
Says Quality Skill Growth Book X1 has been consumed in inventory. Says Quality Skill Growth Book X1 has been consumed in inventory. Says quality skill growth book X2 has been consumed in inventory. Says quality skill growth book X2 has been consumed in inventory. Gentleman says Gentleman's Party B3 burn 5/6 DPS AoE.
I can make you something even better. Take your time and look around. Do you need stronger armor? Come back soon.
Says you can use dash morph
That was
soon.
close. I can't believe the ghastly tales were true.
Says you have entered a peace zone. Brewer says good evening you all. Semi-boss says Semi-boss's party B2 contract hounds. Bankai DZ says Bankai's Vanguard Callant be a normal last boss need help re-clear fast. Says about Hamel 1 page collected. Bankai DZ says Bankai's Vanguard Calent the normal need help re-clear fast all 412s.
This vast plain was once a cherished village landmark before the packs of giant
Says
wolves
Todd.
appeared. Now, even seasoned hunters avoid it.
Simi
Those
Boss
who
says Simi
trespass
Boss's
into the
party
realm of
B2.
savage beasts must prepare to face death.
Where is the person the Lord's aid was supposed to send? Maybe we should postpone the contest. Ah, you're the adventurer my aide told me about. Wait, is that new wolf bait? Good. The old bait didn't work very well. I'm grateful for your help. The hunting contest is the pride of Castleton. Are you here to make a name for yourself? What? Wolf hunting keepsakes? They were only given out in the early days of the contest. Our aides must have been mistaken. But I am really touched by your story. I can't believe the children my nephew saved still remember him. It's something to be thankful for. I have an idea. You should speak with the artisan who made the keepsakes in the past. Find him and tell him I sent you. Be warned, though. The materials are hard to come by. Are you willing to get them yourself? If so, you're going to need to collect broken wolf fangs and radiant antler fragments. Wolf fangs can be acquired by hunting wolves on the plains. Deer antlers can be found near Hamel's tomb. That's where the deer of the plains go to end their lives. You don't know about Hamel? Hamel was a mysterious deer that protected the Black Owl Plains. The villagers believed Hamel was sacred and could travel through both time and dreams. Hamel drove Iskael out once, but the monstrous wolf returned with a mighty Malvescence. He killed Hamel and took my nephew's life. If it hadn't been for that evil Malvescence. Lately, I've been seeing more Starborn in the village. I have to
Simi
admit
Boss
they
says
make
Simi
me a bit
Boss's party
uneasy.
B2 contract
With
hounds
such
5
strange
6.
powers, any one of them has the potential to turn out just like Iskael. I don't like to think about it. Once you collect the materials, you'll need to visit the artisan named Thomas in Castleton. Tell him it's a favor for me, and he'll happily oblige. Do me a favor. On your way to Hamel's tomb, stop by the watchtower and light a beacon fire. It's a signal that the wolf hunting contest will resume soon.
Says you have acquired. Bankai DZ says Bankai's Vanguard Calent the normal last boss. Says killed Black Owl Wolf. Immortal Kinguza says Rice Boss 1. Immortal Kinguza says Rice Boss 1 6,5K Tank 1112. Says killed Brutal Wolf. Immortal Kings says raid boss 16,5k10 says killed Fierce Wolf. Immortal Kings says raid boss 16,5k tank 1112. Immortal Kings says C-Tool. Immortal Kings says C-Tool. Immortal Kings says killed Black Howl Wolf. Semi-Boss says Semi-Boss's party B2 contract hounds 5/6. Says killed Fierce Wolf. Tom says Tom's party B3 heal 30 minutes. Milshokska says GTW Polska Zaporza Aktinik Brazi Dulas Polnaj Pierzygodi Iris Wajania SIEW Pierzimalay Atmospheres.
One of
Says
the
you have
materials
acquired
for the
proof
wolf
of valor
hunting
completion
keepsake
reward.
is a broken
S.
fang from one of the ferocious wolves that inhabit the Black Howl Plains. Only intrepid hunters can acquire this material, symbolizing the death of Iskael the Greyfang.
Says killed Fierce Wolf. Bankai DZ says Bankai's Vanguard Kalanthi a normal last boss need help reclear. Gentleman says Gentleman's party B3 5/6. Says the protection period for Temple of Truth of Ice Stone has ended. Tom says +1 healer B3 Tom's party. Bankai DZ says Bankai's Vanguard Kalanthi a normal last boss need 2 DPS. Says you have acquired the mystical Tomb of Hamel completion reward, S. Says the selected stat has increased. Tom says Tom's party +1 B3 spear. Semi-Boss says Semi-Boss's party B2 contract hounds 5/6. Kurower 31 says Kurower 31's party. Says you have entered a safe zone.
Sweet Ukurak, I don't even have money for another drink. Who are you? Keepsakes? Yeah, I made them. But I made my last one a long time ago. It's been so long, I can't even remember how to use my tools. Well, I may not look it, but I'm very anxious. Whenever I begin a new project, I become consumed with doubt and indecision, and... So, Eerie, you mean that girl Henry said? But I just messed it up and disappoint her. And not just one, but two. No, I can't. All right, fine. I need total silence to work, so please don't make a sound. Anyway, I hope Sawari likes him. It feels great to pick up my tools again and get a bit of my old confidence back. I want to make you something too, someday. I don't feel quite ready yet. Actually, you should visit Adrian, the skills researcher. A strong set of skills can make you more powerful. Tell him I sent you, and he'll be good to you.
Thomas,
Says you
the
have
Castleton
acquired the help of a
craftsman,
likable artisan
reminisced about the
completion
past
reward.
and recreated the
S.
same kind of wolf hunting keepsake he made in times long gone. He vividly remembered the days when Iskale raided his town, recalling that alongside young Henry, who bravely set out to rescue the children, was an unknown hero.
Adventurer, did you...
Kurower 31 says Kurower 31's party.
Real lifesaver.
Kurower
Thank you
31
so
says
much.
carrot and
I'm so
LT.
happy that you
Link
did all
equal.
this for
Kurower
me.
31
I'll
says
put
carrot
this
and
keepsake
LT.
to good
Kurower
use.
31
I'll
says
upgrade
Kurower
Henry's
31's
grave to
party.
let him know the hunting
Kurower
contest
31
is still
says
being
carrot
held
and
in his
LT.
name.
Link equals carrot and LT. Link
Actually,
equals carrot
we
and
weren't just
LT.
saved by Henry.
Link equals Kurower
There happens to
31's
be another
party.
hero who
Kurower
came to save
31
us that
says
day.
carrot and LT.
However,
Link equals
that
carrot
person
and LT.
vanished without even
Link
saying
equals
a
carrot
word.
and LT.
Do you think
Link
I'll meet
equals
that
carrot
other
and
hero
LT.
someday?
Link equals
If I ever
Kurower
do,
31's party.
I'll hold on
Type
to this
equals
other
0
keepsake
ID
so I can
equals
give it to
0
them.
color equals
Oh,
C449
if you
F2
have the
FF
time,
and
you
GT.
should go and
Type
visit
equals
Henry's
0
grave.
ID equals 0
You'll be able
color
to
equals
find his tomb over in the
C449
abbey.
F2 FF and GT.
That's the place where
Type
Henry
Semi
fought
Boss says
Iskale.
Semi Boss's party B2 contract 5/6.
Oh, really? That'd be real nice. Castleton Abbey is located on a hill that's somewhere between the town and the plains.
Says you have entered a peace zone. Kurower31 says Kurower31's party B3.
Star Child, are you seeking a path?
Z Sema says C130 says Vita La Vita Loca. XM0GI says XM0GI's party B2 contracts. Says you have acquired a girl's gratitude completion reward.
The wolf hunting
S.
keepsakes you've gathered. She was over